He didn't raise his voice. He didn't even lift a finger. Yet, people ended their lives simply after speaking to him. Johan Liebert is not your typical anime villain. He is calm, beautiful, composed, and terrifying. But what makes him truly horrifying isn't what he does, it's what he believes. This is not just the story of a killer, it's the embodiment of a philosophy so dark, it strips life of all meaning. This is Johan Liebert, the perfect monster. Before we understand Johan, we must understand nihilism. Nihilism is the belief that life has no inherent meaning, no purpose, no value. In a nihilist's eyes, love, morality, hope, all of it is an illusion. Nothing matters. And no one embodies this better than Johan. But Johan doesn't just believe in nothing. He uses that belief as a weapon. Johan was not born a monster. He was made into one. In 511, an orphanage disguised as a psychological experiment. Children were stripped of identity, forced to betray, fight, and forget. Only the strongest survived. And Johan didn't just survive. He became the product of pure emotional and moral emptiness. There, he learned the ultimate truth, that humanity is fragile, and meaning is a lie. But what's truly disturbing is not just what happened to Johan, it's what he did after. Johan never needed to get his hands dirty. He simply talked, and people broke. The man on the rooftop had no enemies, no violence, just one conversation with Johan, and he jumped. Johan's manipulation is subtle. He speaks just enough to bring the darkness out of others. He doesn't force people to fall. He lets them see why they should. Because Johan doesn't kill with bullets or knives. He kills with ideas. His ability to exploit the human psyche is not just intelligence, it's mastery. He listens more than he speaks, yet every word he says is a mirror that reflects your worst fears, your regrets, your emptiness. People don't die because Johan asks them to. They die because he convinces them there's no point in living. There's a book that appears throughout, Monster, the Nameless Monster. It's a children's book, a fairy tale, but it's more than that. It's Johan's story. A creature that devours others in search of identity, only to realize there's nothing left. That's the paradox Johan lives by. If nothing has meaning, why live? Why exist? And worse, he makes others face that same void. He meets a soldier, talks to him for 2 minutes. The man kills himself. A psychologist tries to understand Johan. Days later, he vanishes. Johan doesn't manipulate for power. He manipulates to reveal, to peel back the mask of every person he meets, and show them the horror of meaninglessness. He doesn't believe in evil or good, only nothing, and that's far more terrifying. What separates Johan from other villains is that he doesn't even enjoy the chaos. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't revel in bloodshed. It's just inevitable to him. His calmness, his silence, they aren't strategic, they are authentic. Because to Johan, everything truly is meaningless, including his own existence. Light Yagami wanted to be a god. Johan wanted to be forgotten. Light killed to create a better world. Johan killed to prove that no world matters. This is the real contrast. Light believed in purpose, justice, control. Johan believed in chaos, despair, emptiness. And yet, who won more hearts? The calm monster or the screaming god? Johan's belief system isn't about dominance, it's about truth. His truth, that when all layers of civilization are stripped away, humans are empty, weak, lost. He wants to expose that, not out of hatred, but because he genuinely believes in nothing. Johan isn't a psychopath. He's a philosopher with blood on his hands. And he's not wrong. That's what makes him so hard to dismiss. Despite everything, we're drawn to Johan because he's calm, beautiful, intelligent, he feels honest. We don't just fear him, we admire him. Maybe because deep down, part of us wonders, what if he's right? What if nothing really matters? Johan is terrifying, not because he's a monster, but because he looks like truth. In the end, Johan comes full circle. He tries to make Tenma kill him to prove his point, but Tenma doesn't. And in that one moment, the entire philosophy collapses, because someone chose compassion over despair. Johan doesn't die, he vanishes into the void he always believed in. Johan Liebert is fiction, but the feelings he awakens are very real. He forces us to ask, what do you believe in? If everything was taken from you, would you still have meaning? Or would you become a perfect monster too? Sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones who speak the truth. But the story doesn't end there, because Johan's influence lingers long after the credits roll. The psychological scars he leaves on others and the audience remain. It's not just about death. It's about unraveling identity, making people question who they are, why they live, and whether any of it ever mattered. That's Johan's ultimate manipulation. He turns human consciousness against itself. When we look at Johan, we don't just see a villain. We see the darkest parts of ourselves, the thoughts we suppress, the emptiness we avoid, the voice that whispers in quiet moments, none of this matters. Johan is that whisper personified, a specter not of horror but of apathy. And apathy, as Dostoevsky once wrote, is worse than hatred, because it means nothing is left. Johan Liebert's world is not one of war or chaos, but of silence. The silence that follows after belief dies, after hope dies. He doesn't create that silence. He just lets people hear it. Even his own identity is a blank. He swaps places with his sister, erases his past. He is, quite literally, a nameless monster. No ego, no goal, no legacy, just the void. And in that void, he thrives. So what do we do with a character like Johan Liebert? We study him, yes, we analyze him, but more importantly, we listen to what he represents. Not because we agree, but because he forces us to defend what we believe in. If he is the embodiment of nihilism, then we must answer with meaning. If he sees no value in life, then we must create it. Otherwise, we become like those who stood on rooftops and jumped. In literature, in anime, in philosophy, there are few characters who cut as deeply as Johan Liebert. Not because he is evil, but because he is empty. Not because he destroys, but because he convinces others to destroy themselves. He's not a demon. He's not a god. He's a mirror. And when you look into that mirror, what do you see? The perfect monster isn't the one who kills. It's the one who reminds you why you want to die. And if you can survive that, if you can look into that abyss and not fall in, then maybe, just maybe, you've found your own meaning. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more dark anime philosophy breakdowns.